Let's do this.
Yeah, and a win for Steve Alford. This would be win number 600. And a win for Paul Weir, well, that would be 50.
First possession, New Mexico. Pound it in, kick it out. That's Manigault with a jumper, and he missed it. That was a 3. He doesn't shoot a lot of those. He's only attempted 9 coming into this ball game.
All right, 2 things to watch out for here. New Mexico is not going to send many guys to the glass, and they're going to make this a half-court game. They don't want games early on. New Mexico just doesn't have the personnel to go up and back with the Wolfpack.
There's your series history. New Mexico leads it, but Nevada, of course, has been the dominant team in the conference the last 3 years. They've won 5 of the last 6. This is Malawach.
Minutes last out against San Jose State. Well, he played 35 minutes. He had 15 points and 13 rebounds, and Paul Weir has said he has gone from a glue guy to a go-to guy.
Well, they're going to need it. They are outnumbered, too. Very thin on the bench. Jalen Harris, terrific score. This is Drew, a 3, and it's short. And the rebound to Zane Martin, who is the de facto point guard now for this team in the absence of Jaquan Lyle. Vance Jackson out as well. As you mentioned, a couple suspensions to J.J. Caldwell and Carlton Bragg. Corner 3. Johnson with the rebound. The Nevada guards are very good rebounders. Harris leads at 6.3 a game. Drew's a good rebounder, and Johnson as well. And Juan Carlos Reyes with a couple from the low posts.
That's his first bucket in the last 3 games. He was scoreless the last 2 games. The Boston College transfer.
Malawach and Martin. Martin launches the 3. He's had a rough year from distance. 9 of 44. That's right around 20%. Harris drives. They have to figure out a way to stop him. In conference games, 23 points a game.
And he had 28 last out in their 86-72 win over UNLV. An explosive athlete, and I'll say this, needs to be in the Player of the Year conversation in the Mountain West. Obviously, Malachi Flynn is your favorite, and rightfully so, because San Diego State is still undefeated.
Manigault, baseline, jumper, that's good. Boy, he's been terrific lately. 21 and 9 against San Jose State, and a double-double at UNLV, 19 and 11. Johnson off the screen, and another
on their guards. Their trio of guards are really everything, and you know, the makeup of this squad is completely different than last year's team that had so many dynamic offensive players as well as personalities. But so far, 5 and 3 in the Mountain West. Both these squads, an important game.
Malawach going to work, lost it.
Well, for the Lobos, they must contain those guards. Good luck. Easier said than done, as well as not turn the ball over. Well, the place to that point, Jazz Johnson has to be special, and they got to get easy buckets in transition. Fast break, points in the paint.
So a 5-4 start. Harris pops out for 3. And it's kicked loose. Now New Mexico, if you're watching New Mexico for the first time this year and you follow the conference, there's a couple things you need to realize. Number one, they're slowing it down today because they're undermanned. They only have 2 or 3 guys that they're going to play off the bench. And number 2, they don't shoot as many threes as they do historically. This is a team that's been relying on 2-point shots.
Yeah, only average 6 made threes a game, and this is something that's evolving as far as them slowing it down. And then last out, they were just really good from an offensive standpoint. They beat San Jose State 86-59.
Jazz Johnson, the miss, offside rebound by Malawach, the junior out of Sydney, Australia.
When I was at Northwestern, we ran something similar to trying to shorten the game by, taking the shot clock out of it. Mike Bray would call it the burn offense at Notre Dame. Pete Carril, the Princeton offense.
Malawach, good ball movement, but no payoff. And Drew has the rebound. Lindsey Drew down the lane, and the tip is good. Juan Carlos Reyes with another bucket.
That plays to one of the keys, right, Rich? Getting easy buckets. That's where Nevada is really at their best.
Well, slowing the tempo does a couple things. It keeps guys somewhat fresh with a limited bench, and it keeps guys out of foul trouble as well because it obviously reduces the number of possessions. Manigault, baseline. Martin drives. Tavian Hersey, and Hersey floating through the air with a bucket. New Mexico back on top by a point.
Percy's a guy, another one, expanded minutes. He played 28 of them against San Jose State. He had 5 points earlier in the year. He wasn't seeing the floor at all.
Everybody waiting for that under 16 whistle here. Jazz Johnson. This is Drew. Johnson, a floater, well short. And Zane Martin has the rebound. New Mexico has the lead. This is exactly the tempo and pace that Paul Weir wants.
Malawach, that's going to be the matchup. Malawach versus Johnson. Steve McKee, our producer. Get a camera just on that matchup because it's going to be a good one.
Martin probing, falling away, missed the shot. And here comes Nevada. Now Nevada would like to stir the tempo up, and they do with a layup.
At UCLA. And Rich, were you surprised that he said,
but this is the first time he's coached against New Mexico here in the Mountain West. Now he has to go to Albuquerque, and he admitted to us, when I go to Albuquerque, when I go back to the pit, then it's really going to be emotional.
Yeah, on the flip side, Paul Weir, 13-0 at home as the pit, one of the best college venues, has been very friendly to the Lobos.
Manigault trying to get to the rim, and that was broken up there by Zane Meeks, and Meeks down the other end. And Nevada with a transition bucket. Meeks, good-looking freshman out of Prairie Village, Kansas. Vontae Hendricks, Zane Martin. Malawach gets in tight, can't finish.
The defense there by Meeks going straight up and down.
Now Drew, speaking of up and down, Nevada's starting to get up and down. And their transition game is starting to develop. Himes, Meeks, no travel. Drew open for three. Got it. Again, if you're just joining us, New Mexico playing at a slow pace because of lack of depth. Their best win, Wisconsin. And their best game may have been their last game. They waxed San Jose State and did a lot of things well with this lineup, without Lyle, without Jackson. But they've hit a roadblock here, struggling from the field, 3 of 12.
It'd be interesting to see if they abandoned this quote-unquote burn offense. You know, it's easy to do when you're in the game, but you fall behind, you're going to have to start playing a little bit faster.
And that's Meeks. And all of a sudden, it's a 10-point game. Hendricks driving in a much-needed bucket. Snaps a drought of almost 3 minutes for New Mexico.
60% of Zane Meeks, the 6'9" freshman from Kansas's buckets this year have been threes.
Harris has yet to get more threes. He's told his team, I want more threes.
He was an okay shooter.
Yeah, just okay.
One of the best, ahead of his time.
And New Mexico, remember, they had Anthony Mathis last year, a great three-point shooter who's now at Oregon, in second place right now.
You and I called the game out Dade, and he's one of those guys that just falls out of bed and gets you 18 or 20 a day. I'm going to prediction that game. Upset.
Seriously?
Correct. Electric environment. San Diego State, it's about that time.
Well, remember, San Diego State has to go to New Mexico next Wednesday, and we've got that game as well on CBS Sports Network. That's a even bigger test, in my mind, going to the pit, where New Mexico is unbeaten this year. Meeks in the low blocks. Remember, the shot clock is not on top of the bucket. Zuzwa is in, and he buries a three. Nizre Zuzwa. If you are just joining us, the shot clock on the other end fell off. Literally fell off an hour before tip after a warm-up dunk. Strong drive and a block. So they've gone old school.
Some injuries to some of the... they've been up and down. I'm surprised that's a bad loss.
See the old school clock? It's not there. If you just joined us, it came down hard. Thankfully, no one was hurt. An hour before, they've affixed the clock to the table, so that's kind of old school 70s shot clock on the sideline.
I was on the floor and I ran for cover. I wasn't even near the shot clock. I could not let this hair be affected before the game, Rich.
Now we have video evidence of that. It's not pretty. McGee feeds the post, and that's a...
And Paul Weir, his head coach, said they have to manage his minutes to make sure that he's on the floor 33 to 35 minutes, whether that's calling timeout, playing his zone, giving him a break. He is really the X factor with the team and how they're constructed now.
Right now he's got 4 and 1. Zuzwa, Harris, Johnson, and Johnson launches and hits. And if he gets hot, look out. Boy, Nevada, 4 of 7 from beyond the arc. Now the watch. In tight.
That's at this dunk, and then watch the body language. Oh boy. Whoa. That could have been catastrophic.
Yeah, see, obviously everybody is okay. The floor took a big hit. They had to patch that up, and obviously the clock doesn't work. So they grabbed the shot clock from another gym and brought it in time to start the game. Kane Milling in the ballgame for Nevada. This is Zuzwa trying to run Johnson off some screens. Zuzwa just going to throw it up himself, and he hits it. He banks it. And Nevada right now is living with the threes. They're 5 of 8. Their biggest lead right now at 13. Hendricks misses the 3. New Mexico is 0 of 6 from distance. Johnson. Zuzwa says, I'm hot.
And that was a fear, especially with New Mexico wanting to play slow, but Nizre Zuzwa, who averaged 20 a game as a sophomore at Bryant, transfers to Nevada, averages 8 points. Now new coaching staff, and he's kind of fallen out of favor.
Another miss from 3, that from Zane Martin. And New Mexico's grown cold. That's not their game, though. They're not a good three-point shooting team. That's a travel. That was a step and then a hop. Watch this. 1-2, and then 1-2.
Oh, I thought we were dancing. And 1-2 and 1. And 2 and 1.
8.5 left first half. That's a drive.
Has become this massive gray area.
But what they're trying to avoid is what we just saw, which is, you penetrate, take a couple steps like you're going to shoot it there, and then hop back behind the line and shoot it there.
2-3 zone now for New Mexico. This is where traditionally the soft spot is in the zone.
Meeks turns and hits. 15-footer. So whether it's distance, whether it's mid-range, Nevada is red hot right now. 12 of 18 from the field. That's 67%. 6 of 9 from 3. And obviously, New Mexico can't withstand this much longer at all. Manigolds. Martin drives and missed it. He pointed out for Steve Alford's team, 9 assists. New Mexico has just 1 assist with their 5 buckets.
And they're staying in the zone. The last time we saw Meeks flash right into that area right there.
Milling. Zuzwa. And the floater won't go, and a much-needed rebound. And let's see if the Lobos can get it together.
Yeah, I'd go down low to Manigault. He's been effective. Get number 1 and red a touch on this possession.
Keith McGee in there right now. Emmanuel Quach as well. Manigault calling. That's a really nice drop step and seal.
You know, Tony Romo gets to hear the plays. I mean, he can't be that intelligent that he's calling out plays. You think these guys are wearing earpieces hearing me? I said get Manigault the rock there.
Well done. Zane Martin steps through left-handed just like that. Out of the timeout, Paul Weir's Lobos are back on their feet.
I'm kidding about Tony Romo, but I do love when he just calls out the plays, don't you?
All right, well, what are you running here against the 2-3 zone?
Meeks has been effective there in the free throw line. Get him a touch.
Milling trying to join the three-point club. Johnson's back in. And Milling's going to take another. And Steve Alford said, hey, shoot more threes.
Hey, the hardest thing when you play a zone as a defender, Rich, is when the shot goes up because you're guarding an area. You just got to find somebody. Like, you box out your own man. Like, it's hard because you don't have a single guy you're looking for. You saw Nevada get that first offensive rebound.
Manigault, boy, they're feeding him right now. And he misses the turnaround. New Mexico shorthanded. Jaquan Lyle, Vance Jackson not here, injured. Johnson's jumper. Oh! Jazz Johnson. 7 threes already for Nevada. The hope is for New Mexico that Lyle and Jackson are back soon. Falling away, a nice shot there by Zane Martin. And it would be nice to have one or maybe both of them back for San Diego State on Wednesday night in the pit.
You're talking about 4 of their top 5 offensive players to start the season are no longer.
Caldwell is suspended. And so the hope is that then the knee injuries for Jackson and Lyle were MRI'd and not severe. And so the hope is that they can work themselves back into the rotation soon. Launching there is McGee. And New Mexico 0 of 7 from distance. Jazz Johnson. And the tip. In and out.
Was down more.
Because of the pace that they're forced to play with the lack of depth, yes.
I feel the same way. I think they're fortunate. Like, if you're looking up at the clock right now, if you get this to 8 or 9 at the half, if you're Paul Weir, you got to feel pretty good about that because you've left a lot of shooters open. A bank 3 goes in. A lot of things have not gone your way. And frankly, this is a big 4:45 in the first half for them.
Hendricks to the corner, Martin. The lefty gets in.
Now the mistakes, well, they're just not
Get to the line. That's NCAA rank. They're 5th best in all of college basketball in shooting percentage. Right now, though, they're 8 of 22 from the field. The lead is 13. Reyes, and he's got 3 buckets. Any contribution Nevada gets from their bigs is a bonus.
I think that's good defense. You make Reyes make a floater like that versus collapsing on him and leaving a shooter open. Now Nevada, they go 2-3 zone. This is the first possession we've seen now.
And we'll see how New Mexico reacts. Well, they get a good shot up. Hendricks. And Nevada right now still dominating on the boards. A 20-7 rebounding advantage. That's a foul. Changes that New Mexico has made defensively this year. A little less guarding the 3 and a little more pack line on the inside. They may have to adjust that if they want to get back into this ball game. Good ball movement. Martin's 3. Got it. And that's a good sign for Zane Martin, who's a better shooter than he has shown this year.
Only 21% on the season, but cut it to 15. You got a chance to potentially get this to single digits before the half.
Harris drives in. Putback won't go. Reyes, good rebound there. Manigault is really blossoming with all this playing time.
It's an important possession here, Rich.
Martin. Manigault saves it. Percy.
Another word for his squad. He needs to touch the ball in my eyes 80% of the time down the floor.
Well, that's the same talk, right, from Paul Weir with Manigault as he had with Malawatch. You know, with all these guys out, you all of a sudden have to be the guy. I need more from you two, and they both have responded. Harris off the timeout, driving, rising.
Left and finishes left. We can live.
Cards are for Nevada, but he's a penetrator, and he can finish above the rim.
No, it's easy for me to say as 37 years old with a dad bod what these guys should be doing on the floor. But like you said, when you're guarding him and you know he can shoot the 3 and he's so athletic, you know, it's easier said than done. Good job by Steve Alford because Harris has been quiet. He runs a play for him right out of timeout to get him a touch, try to find some rhythm for him.
Good admission on the dad bod, too. Manigault, if you're Paul Weir, this is your guy. You're shorthanded. And he talked to us about trying to keep Manigault out of foul trouble, and he's on the bench, you would think, for the next 2 minutes of this half.
I would watch Meeks here. He's done a great job flashing in.
Harris, the flasher. Harris, the bucket.
Good idea, wrong guy, I chose. That's been a really soft spot by Nevada. Great execution against the zone.
You keep waiting for New Mexico to bust it up the floor, but they just can't because they can't get Nevada stirred up. Martin's hit 2 threes. Meeks has the rebound. Whoa, Drew got going too fast. Martin the other way. Zane Martin, the junior, out of Philly. It's a 14-point game.
Surprised they're staying in this zone. I think this is really a load management situation because they're so short on depth to try to go zone to save these guys' legs. You gotta get hands up on defense against the zone. Too many guys have their hands down.
It's a tough team to zone, isn't it? Meeks. 17-point lead. 8 of 14 is Nevada from distance. Hendricks forced it. Drew looking for trailers. Johnson. That sums up the first half for Nevada. Look at those numbers, 9 of 15. Offensive. He's a much more complete player this year. That's not because he wasn't in the past. It's that his teammates dominated the ball so much. The Martin twins and Jordan Caroline. Jazz Johnson was a guy that just collected three-point shots and hit them. And now this year he's had to do a lot more, and he's done it. See the shot clock. Harris crosses over, kicks, Meeks a three. No. And New Mexico should get the last shot. Let's see if they do. Martin up the floor. Final seconds. There's his three. Zanity.
You had me and then you lost me. I'm not gonna lie. You had me and then I was gone.
That's trying too hard. But that's about the one thing that Nevada hasn't done well. They have a rather high number of turnovers. That's 9 in the game. Let's see if New Mexico is able to get their half court going. Again, if you just joined us, they are shorthanded. They're playing at a deliberate pace because they just don't have the bodies. Malawach.
I see Manigault going in there. Two bodies colliding. Tough to see from that angle. Reyes hits the deck and New Mexico gets the call.
New Mexico is not a great three-point shooting team. Somewhat by design this year. Martin drives and missed. And here comes Lindsey Drew. Johnson in transition. My goodness, is he hot. That didn't take long to get rid of that shot. 4 of 6 from distance.
Yeah, he had a game this year where he made 8. That's right, 8 threes against Boise. He was 8 of 12 at 34 points.
Drew now has 5 assists. That's 15 assists for 19 field goals made. That is a coach's dream. Manigault, little this, biggest little that. Biggest little shooter attempts, third in percentage shooting, 43% from distance. 3 terrific guards here at Nevada. Jalen Harris, Lindsey Drew, and Jazz Johnson. Drew gets it back. Stayed on his toes.
Bobby Robinson. But you can just see, coaches don't want to hear this, Rich. When you make shots, you play harder. See, they want you to play hard all the time, but the reality is when you make shots, people are clapping, you're running down with your thumbs up, you feel good about yourself.
Everything looks better, right?
Yes. Keys to the game, make shots. That's going to be my key every game.
Martin kicks, Malawach. Short on a three, Reyes has the rebound. And New Mexico has really struggled from distance, 2 of 13.
You know what would be something to watch is what point does it get to as Johnson again?
Robbie Robinson. And a 3 from Vontae Hendricks, a sophomore out of Woodland Hills, California. Harris. You were interrupted by a great play there. That one-hand stick back. And Harris bangs in a 3. And this is a rout. away. Nevada continues to dominate the boards.
Jazz Johnson here coming off.
Rising and missing.
Well, you see scholarships players. Do you call off the dogs and live to fight another day?
Well, their next game is Wednesday.
Because the guys who play 35, 38 minutes a game. Like, spoiler alert, they're not going to win this game.
I will balance that with, if you're a coach, you want them to play better in the second half than they did in the first half, just to get a little confidence going towards San Diego State. And there's a three dropped in by Keith McKee.
I'm just asking the question. Is it 8 minutes? Is it 4? They've gone zone and then they leave Johnson open. It's like the last guy you want to leave open in this arena.
9 threes for Nevada. Martin hit a couple threes in that first half. Kick to the corner. And New Mexico. Tavian Percy. That's only his 6th three all year. New Mexico with some solid possessions. Zuzwa's back in. Johnson rotates to Drew. Down to Reyes.
Talk about made three-pointers. They made a
win for him. Of course, the great guard, a national champion. Bobby Knight's point guard at Indiana.
looks amazing. Yeah. Looks amazing too, because he was so famous for the hair.
Yeah, he looks like he can still play, right? And it's not just the hair. He's in great shape.
He is.
Now the watch. Short on it. Manigault the rebound. Got some space. Johnson sucks up a rebound. Zuzwa's back in the game for the Wolfpack with Drew and Johnson.
You can just see it. Jazz Johnson is moving like he can get a shot at any time.
Zuzwa. Reyes' throw. He had open threes because of all the attention from the defense on the Martins and on Jordan Caroline. Now this year he's had to move without the ball. Zuzwa. Oh, wow. With Manigault in his face. Nizre Zuzwa. Zuzwa has hit all 4 of his threes. He's 4 of 4 from distance. Martin with the bucket.
He's been great. And I said before via era that Steve Alford, he's resurrected a guy that averaged 20 points a game. Brian, hats off to Twitter, keeping me in place there. He only averaged 1 point a game last year for Eric Musselman. This year over 8 a game.
Nice. Zuzwa finds Reyes. If you were a three-point shooter, wouldn't you love to play for Steve Alford?
And you have to be a really good three-point shooter. Bobby Knight's going to let you shoot a lot of them.
Right. That's true.
Because they're moving the ball side to side, really getting anything they want on the offensive end.
No, Steve Alford talked about the emotions he's going to get when he goes to the pit. Stolen by Drew, up to Zuzwa.
And the state. He told me it was a clean what the kid's doing, but then when you block the shot, you stand over him, and then the stool obviously coming into play was what was highlighted. And unfortunately for a guy like D'Souza, he's going to have to learn the hard way with a lengthy suspension.
Zuzwa's been terrific now, 14 points. And a 3. Ante Hendricks. Harris is back in for Nevada. Penetrates, delivers. Himes missed the shot at the rim. Hendricks for the Wolfpack. That's nice stuff with a two-hand flush by Keith McKee. And this is what I was talking about with New Mexico. You want to see if this group, even though they're down by 20 points, if they can get it together and start to get something rolling.
We have not called Jalen Harris's name much in this game, huh, Rich?
No, but you know the wild thing is he's got a dozen points.
He's got the earpiece in. I think he heard me, Rich Waltz.
He is a fun player to watch because he can score from the outside, and just like that, he can score from above the rim. Zane Martin, 18-footer. Zane Meeks with the rebound. Meeks has had some good moments here. He's got 10 points in this ball game. Good ball fake there. 3 on the way, and he hits another.
You know things are going your way. He's been outstanding today. So has this Wolfpack squad.
Still a lot of time here. Of course, New Mexico outmans. Long 3 is short from Hendricks. Started at 5-3, so a 6-3 record. And of course, win number 600 if they could finish it for Steve Alford. Zane Martin. 21 for Martin with 7 of 16 shooting.
He's been great. He's been their whole offense. Where would they be without him, Rich?
Down by like 35 at this point. That's a real nice pass ahead and a missed dunk by McGee. Oh, how about another shot? That one goes down. Someone underneath you. And you're trying to prevent
back on because they're down 23. That's a whole nother conversation. But letter of the law, that is a technical foul.
9 minutes in second half. Harris blows by. 33.
The game, and I believe it. I think he's right in that conversation for Mountain West Player of the Year. As Meeks, he's been everywhere.
That's a tough bucket there by KJ Hines. And the rebounding divide just grows. It's almost a plus 20 rebounding night for Nevada. They're plus 19 right now. Percy kicks. Anna goes way off on the 3. Zuzwa approaching a career high with Nevada. Zuzwa has it. 17. That's his career high with the Wolfpack. Lead is stretched to 27. And that one nestles in. Zane Martin with 23 for New Mexico. Meeks with a tip. Manigault with the rebound. This is a Nevada team that is getting better as the season goes.
Well, you would expect that, right? When you lose the personnel that they lost, great pass there.
Manigault.
You know, your whole identity changes. Jazz Johnson, all right, you're a role player, now you're a star. Jalen Harris, all right, you redshirted, you're our go-to guy. Like, that takes a while to make that adjustment, and now they're really starting to find their rhythm.
That's a 3. That's Hines. This is unbelievable. 15 threes already for Nevada. They're 15 of 27. Martin missed the jumper. And of course, new coach, new system, new everything. And it just feels like that these 3 guards playing so well together. Hines with a flush. And this has gotten out of control.
Paul Weir's going to take a timeout here. He's going to make some, but they've gotten the support in this game.
And when Zuzwa plays like this, it's not a 3-guard attack. It's a 4-guard attack from Nevada with Lindsey Drew as that other guard. Martin with a career high with 23.
I love the way Zane Martin's still out there competing. He's trying every single time down the floor.
And Hendricks is one of those. We've seen a lot of Tavian Percy and a lot of Keith McGee as well. Now watch. Shot blocked. Now watch. Shot blocked.
And Rich, he had an early bucket, and then he had another bucket. And then what does that have you do? Well, you want to grab rebounds. You want to block shots. The big fella from Georgia, the BC transfer. You could argue his game against St. Mary's where he had 12 points is his best game, but this has to be his best all-around game for Nevada.
And that's the other component for Nevada. Bigs. If they can get the bigs playing well, or better than they have. And that's a real step forward. That
didn't go in.
Did that go in? I don't think it did. It go in?
I don't think that went in.
Yeah, it did.
It 100% went in.
It did go in. A line drive that went in. Harris missed it. And the rebound by Hendricks. And New Mexico pushing it up the floor a bit. And a corner three by Keith McGee. Look at the three-point shooting. Now the school record for Nevada is 17 made threes.
I think they get it. Because they've gotten just great looks every time down.
And those are the shots that they take in normal offense. Like that, Meeks. Malawatch with the rebound. Hendrick, now the shot we showed you on the way to break, it's actually a three. They were unsure where the feet of the passer were at the time. They had to go back and sleuth that, and they did. So it's a 20-point game. This was on the verge of a 30-point game. But New Mexico is starting to get a little more fluidity on offense. Harris off the screen from Johnson. Malawatch high up to get the rebound. Malawatch with 6 rebounds so far. Corner three and good. That's Keith McGee. You know, New Mexico was awful from distance in the first half, but not bad in the second half. They're now 10 of 22 in the game. 67% here in the second half. Drew. Hendricks. And he's fouled.
Hendricks there. He fouled like 6 times.
That can be a flop. Free throw is up and good. But you're right. He did get fouled eventually. Look at this. Quite well here in the second half, especially the last 5 minutes. Harris driving and finishing. He's got 17. Another three. Hendricks missed. Drew the rebound. Lindsey Drew kicks. Harris three.
We'd love to have that one back, but Rich, he has really competed in this game, and he has to be their leader now. You got 40 or top 5 players from the start of the season. A couple guys no longer with the squad. You got guys that are injured. He's become the leader, and I love how hard he's played in this game for 35 minutes as he shoots another three.
Missed it.
That's not his strength. He buried 2 of them. He was almost like trying to will his team stay in the game.
He's got 23 on 8 of 19 shooting. 4 assists, 2 steals. Harris, man, when he gets in tight, there's no stopping him.
You see that pace he plays with? He never seems to be out of control. That was just too easy there.
He's listed at 6'5", and at times he plays taller than that. And a runner, Vontae Hendricks getting some good run here. Hendricks with 19 points and 5 rebounds. What you hope for New Mexico is that there's enough to build on in this second half run that they can carry over Wednesday night when number 4 San Diego State is in the pit. Harris.
They've moved the ball so well. 31 made field goals. They have 22 assists on those 31 made field goals.
And with the ball's got a double-double. Juan Carlos Reyes, 10 points, 11 rebounds. Harris misses. And here comes New Mexico. New Mexico led by Zane Martin's 23. Vontae Hendricks has got 19. Keith McGee's got 11. That's not a great pass, but somehow it gets through. McGee into the corner. And a turnover, and Zuzwa, that's a little ambitious. There's Drew, though.
Does that play sum up this game?
Yes. Although, you need to mix a three-point angle into it. Manigault's foul. Same as we want to get to 6 and 3.
His former school,
right? And as he told us, yeah, there's some emotion here, but man, it really will be something when he goes back to the pit. He had a great run there, really kind of rebuilt the culture of New Mexico basketball there.
And that's going to be a revenge game. You know, Jaquan Lyles should be back. Vance Johnson hopefully will be back, and this New Mexico team would have a totally different look.
Drew, a miss, a rebound, and a bucket. He said it'll probably feel something like when he was the head coach at Iowa and he went back to play Indiana. He said that the difference there was he was coaching against Bobby Knight, against his old coach. Manigault.
Now he's affected West Coast basketball player in a competitive spirit. Even before the game, it looked like he was getting ready to play.
Right. He was fired up for this game.
I didn't want to bring up a bad memory about how Northwestern hit a last-second three to beat Iowa when they were top 15 in the country, but I did.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't throw us out at that point. But to his credit, he looked past that. Drew waiting, shoots the three, and they have made the decision, and it is a three, 16-32. Well, this day started with the shot clock falling off the basket, remember, in warm-ups? And it has continued with Nevada in a barrage of threes. Drew.
Next level potential. This game's over. I'm just surprised he's on the floor.
Minute and a half. I suspect that Meeks is at the table for Harris.
As a player, you don't want to come out. Obviously, you're playing great, and you know the team's rolling. But if you're a coach,
so a 93-74 Nevada lead, and for Nevada and Steve Alford, not only a big win in the Mountain West, but win number 600 in Alford's career. This, of course, his first year here at Nevada. Harris kicks, corner three.
Steve Alford's really give a rebirth. The kid from Massachusetts, the Bryant transfer, 96 points and contributions all over the board, Rich.
20 for Zuzwa, 6 of 7 from 3, and a block by Himes. Now some of the reserves are on. Gabe Bensuelo with the ball right now. Himes kicks, Milling. Meeks. Lead is 22. Bensuelo to Milling for 3. Missed it. Himes has the rebound. They want Bensuelo to get some points, and to his credit, he's going to hold on to the basketball.